I'm basically fishing anywhere from 6-8 foot of water to 12, 13, 14 foot. And I'm looking for isolated grass patches. You know, I'm using the Mega Live and the Mega 360 to see what's around me. I mean, I can look out there and I can see sand and dark, bright and dark. That's what smallmouth love to get around. So what I love about a thunder crick is it just, there's something about that vibration that the big ones really respond to. It catches big fish. So this is just a 1/2 ounce tungsten Strike King thunder cricket. And what I like about this tungsten model compared to the standard one is that the blade is just a little bit smaller, so it runs a little deeper. You know, the other thing is when that blade is bouncing against that head, against that tungsten, it makes a lot of noise. And smallmouth are definitely focused on noise. You know, I've got a Strike King blade minnow on there. You know, I use a lot of different trailers for bladed jigs like this thunder cricket, but this doesn't have a lot of drag compared to, you know, some of the other bigger, bulkier things like a swim bait or even a menace or a scound bug, some of the other ones that have action to them. So it allows it to run a little deeper. You know, I'm fishing out here on deeper flats, so it's clear water and the fish will come a long ways to it, but I want something that's gonna stay down in the water column a little bit further. And that's why this particular setup works really good. You know, get a little flash off that blade. It's kind of a, you know, chartreuse and white. There's a lot of perch up here in the Great Lakes, so it's just a good color. I mean, just getting into fall, and you know, the threadfin shad move in here, and it just really imitates that real well, and the big ones like it. I should go right where I kind of call it. I saw that one in my eyes. He's just a little guy, but gosh. The other fun thing about this is no matter how big they are, they absolutely just, they annihilate it. It's a really fun bite. The fish out here on Lake St. Clair especially, they rarely are in all sand or all weeds. It's usually where it's kind of patchy. So that's something that you learn to look for. And it's important, you know, when you're out fishing and you start getting bit, as subtle as the structure is and the cover out here, to look real close at your electronics to see what you're seeing on your screen so that you know what it looks like. I mean, that's the way that I learned how to use side imaging to understand like objects and what size it is you go by things that you can actually see. So you understand that, you know, when you're on a 50-foot range, what it looks like. When you're on a 75-foot range, what it looks like. And it's the same out here. When you see that subtle sand grass patches or those clean spots, to see what it looks like on your Mega 360 or on your Mega Live, so that when you get in those areas again, you know that you're in the right kind of bottom. Out here in these big flats, finding some isolated cover, grass clumps, things like that. I'm still definitely focused on my electronics and my graphs, and especially I'm focused on that Lakemaster map. You know, I mean, I want to see where I've already drifted, some of the other lines that I've got out here, and you know, I can adjust a little bit, I can move myself over, and that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of grid search this area, you know, so that I'm not necessarily fishing over the same spots twice. If you mark a good spot, you catch a big one, whatever, obviously you're going to drop a waypoint there and you want to be able to come back to it or fish around that area. You can spot lock, do that. But until then, you know, as I'm searching these areas out, I like to, you know, just space my drifts out and looking at that trail and seeing where I've been, and then going right along some of those other areas. It's going to make me a lot more efficient. You know, out here on these big flats like that, I mean, you can catch them a lot of ways. The most predominant local techniques is people just drag a drop shot, cast a drop shot around or drag a tube around, and that catches plenty of fish. But, you know, I like to fish with baits that I can cover water. It's vast, huge flats out here, and you gotta find them. You gotta be around them before you can catch them. And I wanna be able to throw something that's gonna generate strikes and to cover water, and we're always looking, obviously, for big fish. So that tungsten thunder cricket, the thunder cricket in general, it's a big fish catcher. I mean, just largemouth, smallmouth, anywhere you go. So that's why as a tournament angler, you know, it's one of my favorite baits.